Bruce says we sometimes waste our best banter before it starts, so I thought I'd start it and then we'll do the whole theme tune thing. What banter are we missing, Bruce?
Must have missed that one.
I don't know, but there's, sometimes our best banter might be gone in the first 10 seconds before the pod actually starts.
Yeah, is that good? That crisp 10 seconds of decent audio?
Yeah, it might be gone, and that the listeners miss out on that little nugget, don't they?
10 seconds might be a bit of a stretch, mate.
Yeah, but sometimes you say something funny, and then Alex rolls the credits.
Yeah, the end.
Roll titles.
I'm actually doing it in reverse. I dropped my prawn toast as well, which was a start.
I've just been for a bit. Been to the Agra for a curry. That was nice.
Oh, 27th. So you had Christmas dinner, and then you had Boxing Day, which I assume is leftover buffet.
Oh yeah.
And then today you went, yeah. Shall I tell you what my digestive system really needs right now? Is a curry.
It was packed, mate. The Agra's always busy. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going for a run, and then we're going out for the run. Then we're going out for the running club fry up at 10 o'clock.
Depends how good that curry was, mate. You might be having the runs tonight.
It's all go, isn't it?
It was only medium.
No rest for you.
Do we have to talk?
No rest for you, Bruce.
No rest for my bloody wallet. No rest tonight either. Like I say, now the heroes are out. Claire's mixed them all up though. There's celebrations in there and heroes and.
She's a
rappers.
monster.
Is it really annoying? Does anyone find it really annoying when the rappers are left in the tub? And you spot something that you think's really nice, and then you go to it, and it's a fucking rapper.
Which ones are left in yours then? If it's the heroes, which ones are left?
Well, I'm looking through now. I like Whispers. Whispers are good.
Yeah,
I'm not too keen on these the twisted, the old
so cream, egg, and eclairs. Cream, egg, and eclairs.
Oh, mate, bag them up, send them down. Bag them up and send them down.
Okay,
mate. Well, I'll bring them to. Well, I'll see you at Gillingham before I see you at Sutton, won't I?
You will do, mate. I've started planning the outfit and everything. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I've got the Costco's.
I won't plan too much in the way of clothes.
Proper one. Oh, someone's done it in here as well. Look.
Bounty.
Right,
I'll tell you what. In the other lot, bounties and Mars bars. They're left in the other ones.
Snickers for us.
Snickers.
I don't know.
Bloody hell, we need to, like you do with the old thingy cards where you swap what got need. We need to start doing some swapsies because I'll swap you bounties for bloody Snickers any day of the week.
Right, so in my Quality Streets one, we have got is this coconut?
Quality Streets are absolutely downhill now.
And then that one, which I assume is fudge.
No, I think that's like strawberry in it if it's red.
No comment.
No, this is the thing that moved to wax paper as well. And this is a revelation, mid production. So I've got this one, which is like some sort of weird waxy paper strawberry one. Let's try it just to make sure we're right. Yeah, that's the strawberry fondant one, isn't it? This is good for people who are listening
on his phone while we're talking.
Well, there's nothing to listen to. And then this one's the shiny one. So they must have given up halfway through. There's no chocolate. There's no toffee pennies in here.
I think Whispers in the heroes. They're actually
right. Should we do?
Really.
Should we do the podcast?
Are we trying to filibuster the podcast? Is this how desperate we are not to talk about the game from last night, from yesterday? We'll just talk about heroes and celebrations.
What, the Tranmere game?
Why can't we all be friends?
Can't we all just get along?
Shut up, Mike. Right, we'll do the podcast.
Roll the BT.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
They've done it! They've done it! It's Maguire Drew! They've done it again, this team!
What a magnificent piece of football! Really, really good goal! You can't legislate for that! Grimsby are heading back
Love it. Or are we? These are too hot, too low, right? Well, look, we'll keep the festivities going because in this year of, peace and harmony, goodwill to all men, Frisbee Town's social media has spent the entire day at each other's throats. And it upsets Bruce. I'll be honest, that's what's happening. It's upset poor Bruce. And we need to all get along, even though yesterday was shit. So, Bruce is here. He's eating heroes. I don't know why they're in here. I'm slightly worried why they've been discarded in this room. And then Sam is here. Sam has got a new pair of headphones that he got for Christmas, or he's at his mum and dad's and he's got them from there.
The latter, I'm afraid.
He's definitely playing Flight Simulator while he's talking to us.
I've had these since I was about 16 when I played FIFA and F1 beyond when I should have gone to bed, really. But anyway.
Is this the old Mist tale where, Sam had them on watching some good old, blue stuff, and then he turned around and then his mum had left a cup of tea on the bedside table, sort of thing?
He's like RJ, isn't he, from the In-Betweeners? He's got a mask and snorkel if you look under the desk.
Where's all that Christmas ham gone, Sam? Where's it all gone?
Oh, the pylon's already begun. I've had this on Twitter for the last 2 days. I don't need it from the pod as well. This is
Sam wants us not to mention gammon. Mike, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I've come down with this cold that everybody's got, which is not a cold, and it fucks everybody up.
Oh, you've not mentioned it. You've not moaned about it.
Not yet. Well, off the pod. There you go.
There you go. There's proof, listeners. Proof Alex has the lurgy.
Yeah, just in case come the 3rd of January, I'm not back at work. That's the piece that I'm submitting to HR. Right. Oh, do we have to fucking talk about it? Right, Town lost to Harrogate. It was shit. Most of you went, fucking fools. I didn't. Sam doesn't usually go to games up north, so let's start with Sam. Because Sam says, if I start ranting, don't stop you. Did you want me to stop you, or did you want me to let you go? Because
no,
I worry
if I start ranting and ruin the and it ends up turning into the Sam Barrett Rantathon podcast.
Well, the problem is you usually get a member of the Conservative Party to start ranting. It ends with some sort of thing on immigration. So, I mean, go for it if you want to be cancelled.
I'm not going to be cancelled. I mean, I'm going to kind of... yeah, so there was there weren't that many of us who went... There weren't that many of us there yesterday, Alex. I mean, there were 600 of us, but we'd have taken 3, 4, 5 times as many as that if they'd had the capacity. But them being Tin Pot non-league club meant we weren't able to. They were still managed to beat us. Somewhat inexplicably. I mean, we walked away from the game saying it reminded us very much of the Hartlepool thing. What are you doing there, Alex? Sort of
Nothing. I'm listening. I apologise.
I thought you were kind of doing some happy clappy sort of thing. What was I going to say? For the Hartlepool. From the Hartlepool game where we'd kind of thrown away what should have been a pretty comfortable 3 points via our own ineptitude, basically. I listened to Hursty after the game. He basically said that we didn't look after the ball well enough after we went ahead. I mean, the analogy that my dad has used, and I think that's right, is we should have put our foot to their throats. We had them on the ropes. I mean, they were rubbish. Apart from Richardson, their striker, who'll be playing in the Championship probably in January, given how scarce strikers are these days. I'm really not. They weren't up to much at all. We made them look okay for the first 20 minutes, but after that, once we equalised, we were all over them. They couldn't cope with us, and I just feel if we just upped it a little bit, we could have been 3-4-1 up, and the game would have been dead and buried. But maybe that's the ever so slight criticism I would have of Hursty. A big defender of Hurst, but the game was there yesterday, and we blew it like we did at Hartlepool. We should never have lost it. We shouldn't even have drawn it. We should have easily won the game. But the second goal is a mistake by Mishi, and then Crocombe slips. So as a result, the jingle should be banned today. And the third goal, I'm not looking so much at Crocombe. I'm looking more at the fact we had 3 or 4 opportunities just to clear the ball away. If everybody looks disgusted and just sort of sits there silently or ignore it, then maybe you'll stop doing it. Hide away the pain.
That'll just encourage him. Don't do that. Don't mention the jingle because it will get played.
I do mean. Sorry, Simon. I do mean Armstrong, not Richardson. I don't know where Richardson. I do mean Armstrong, not Richardson. He was a class act. But the reaction to the defeat from not just some people, but loads of people on social media and so on has just been so over the top. I've seen so many posts saying Hurst has taken us as far as we can, and I just think that's ridiculous, that kind of narrative being pushed by some. I knew there'd be criticism on the back if he didn't make any changes, and I kind of get that a little bit, especially having to play 3 days later. But the kind of I've seen loads of criticism of Mishi, again, who I thought was excellent yesterday, probably one of our better players. Amos, he came in for stick. I thought he was really good.
Didn't you say Mishi cost us a goal?
Mishi got underneath it, didn't he? But apart from that,
I'm sure you said if we rewind, it was his fault or a mistake by Mishi.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, how was he outstanding then? If he cost us a goal?
Well, notwithstanding that, then.
Oh yeah, all right. Don't worry about that. Then carry on.
I'm back pedaling already.
U-turns in the offing.
Yes. But no, he's coming for low stick before that, I thought. Amos came, but the main one was the kind of fact people saying that Hurst has progressed as far as we can. If anyone's listening to this and you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. But I think those people need to get a grip, just really wake up. I mean, we're not in the Championship anymore. We're not floating around those divisions. We're a non-league, League 2 yo-yo club, or that's what we've become. So if Hurst can stabilise us where we are now, that's good enough for me. But I genuinely don't know what it would take to pacify some sections of the town support. Anyway, rant over.
I mean, that's not a rant. Bruce is ready. Bruce seems riled. He'll
speak more sense than me, that's for certain.
So my nuanced thought on it is, I think every right mind thinking town fan is well aware that we had 6-7 weeks to put a team together for League 2. We didn't know what league we were going to be in until the very last minute, and as a result, that probably closed the door on a couple of options we may well have had if we'd have known we were going to be in League 2 from the get-go. That's not a problem. We're going to go through it. We all are, I think, pretty well aware that the team isn't complete. It isn't it is needing of an improvement. We kept all the players I think we wanted to, apart from Fox. So that's a great thing to have. And I think that you are allowed to criticize Hurst while also not being in the Hurst out camp. And I think sometimes in the heat of the moment, a lot of people can't sometimes distinguish that. I think as well that we will have lots of people coming in January, like we've always done. I think we're far too reliant on 6-month loanees, and that leaves us vulnerable in the middle of the year. We were very lucky last year. Will we be lucky this year? I'm not sure. And sorry, I'm meandering from that point. And then, but I think there is a right criticism to say that though we don't have all the players we would like, that I think Hurst yesterday did not use anywhere close to the full arsenal of options that were open to him, and allowed the initiative of the game to be taken away from him by Harrogate. I don't think we were as outstanding as a lot of people are saying. The radio commentary seemed to be very complimentary. I thought it was 60-40. Yeah, that was where I go with it. And I think when you've got the likes of Morris, Hunt, Glennon on the bench, and you don't bring them on, you're looking for trouble. It's almost like Harrogate only needed a plan B. They brought Muldoon on, put a heavier bloke up front, and it completely and utterly foxed us. And we had no idea how to deal with it. And Hurst didn't challenge them and didn't go, okay, well, think of something, or put their foot on their throat and go, okay, now we're going to bring Scannell on with 10 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, or we'll bring Alex Hunt on to make the ball move a bit quicker, or we'll bring Glennon on for the deliveries, etc. Bruce, I hope that was nuanced enough, but I'd rather hear you be ranty and mad. So maybe I ruined it.
I'm not going to rant, mate. My take on before we go on to the game, which I did see from not live. I have to hold my hands up. I was down at Claire's grandma's in Horncastle. Probably got more grief for leaving
another playoff final,
leaving the dinner table early than I would have done if I'd gone to the actual game itself. Where's he going? Oh, I've got to go on there. Just sort the laptop out for the town game. If bloody dinner had been served on time, I wouldn't have had a problem, would I? But anyway, that is a different matter.
Was everything okay at home, mate?
I think the hurt. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
I think that's a bit personal. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd rather not answer that question on the podcast. And you know me, there's not a lot I won't talk about when I've had a curry and a couple of beers. The Hurst situation, I think he's perfectly open to criticism, because that's what, when we don't win, that's what football fans do. You know, and look at Twitter with the government. You know, if you're on the other side, I'm not mentioning no names, Mike. All you do is just stalk the opposition and slag them off every time they mention anything. So
I wish we marked Harrogate as closely.
It's not just football that this is the case, where people get on people's backs when something isn't going the way that they like it. So that's life, and he is susceptible to that. And I do, but I'm like you. I'm exactly the same as you, Alex. I think that last season's promotion was, in my opinion, was probably the most important promotion in the club's history, because I don't think if we hadn't have gone up, we could have been down there for 10, 15 years. We may have never come back. And that's not down to anything that the owners would do or we would do as fans. I just think that league is absolute nightmare to get out of. And I just think we could have been down there forever. And we need to be eternally grateful to Paul Hurst and the players for that promotion. However, there was some luck involved in the promotion, that the fact that we finished 6th and went up. And we need to remember that a little bit when we're looking at the team that we've got out on the pitch this season, because, you know, if you finish 6th in any league, you look at the Premier League, if you say you're a Spurs or somebody, you're always going to be more than one transfer window from challenging for the title. You're going to need, if you finish 6th in a league, you're going to need several players to get several decent signings to get promoted the division above. And I think I think Hurst is owed this. I think Hurst personally is owed this January, the summer. And then if we don't see a lot of progression by the middle of next season, perhaps this time next year, then I think that you would probably be questioning whether he can take the team any further. But at the moment, I think he's got enough in the bank with me to keep going and to have the next couple of transfer windows and see how he gets on. Didn't you think their pitch would look tiny? I mean, Sam, you were there on the telly. It looked absolutely tiny. It looked about 4 foot wide. And
that's because you were looking at it on a laptop, mate. It's really quite small on a laptop.
No, I'd got it plugged into Claire's. No, I'd got it plugged into Claire's grandma's telly, mate, via HDMI. So when they came, when they all came back from lunch, they couldn't even watch bloody ET or whatever was on. They had to watch the town game. So yeah, I was well popular by the end of the afternoon. But yeah, I thought we chucked it away and it really pissed me off. There you go, Mike. You tell me what you think. It was just like watching. We've done it too many times this season. If that team last season never knew when they were beaten, they never know when they've won now.
Yeah. Oh God, that's a line, isn't it?
Oh,
and then the little drink straight after that. There he goes. He knows he's done all right.
Regarding the pitch, Bruce, it wasn't immediately clear to me, but my dad did notice sort of how close to the action we seemed to be, how close to you could hear deflections on the other side of the box and so on. So that kind of rings true. It's non-league, innit? It's going to be a small pitch, but I hadn't thought about it. But that does kind of It didn't take
Aldershot's
either
got
side
the
long to get up it.
Aldershot have got the biggest pitch in football in the professional game.
Oh, bloody hell, Sam.
should know.
That didn't last very long, did it?
I've ran around. I ran around it. It's big.
Oh, so it's not based on science, then it's just based on your kind of anecdotal evidence on the fact that you're unfit.
No,
and therefore we now
apparently
have
it's
to
true.
base-
How dare you? I'm as fit as a butcher's dog. How dare you, Mike?
You were calling me out on last week's pod for saying I was ageist.
And a Tory, Mike.
Hello.
What did you think?
If I start on the game and then drift into the Hurst thing, I think with the game.
Hang on, shall we? Nick's just arrived from Stockport County, so he can sit in and listen. Hi, Nick. We're not going to do the proper chatting yet, but you can listen to the fallout of this stuff. Mike, what were you going to say?
Yeah, with the game, I think it took us quite a while to work them out. I think them leaving two up top sort of left us in a bit of a quandary with what to do. I think though, after 20 minutes or so, we sort of got our grips of it, started to realise if we move the ball quickly and move it out wide and switch play, that seemed to cause them all sorts of problem. And we did that. We did that well. We got the goal back. And then just after half time, we got the second. And I think that's where we stopped. I think we stopped doing what we was doing in the first half to dominate the game. And I think from the 60th minute onwards, I could quite clearly see, or I'm sat there thinking, we're looking a bit leggy. We weren't keeping the ball as long as we had been. We'd been turning the ball over quite quickly, and we were becoming second to the ball. And I think we needed a change, even if it's just as simple as taking McAtee off, putting somebody up top with a bit of legs, and just trying to run the channels and stop them recycling the ball and coming back at us as quickly, and maybe getting a hold of it and changing the momentum of the game. So it's frustrating that we let that happen. And then as well, it's frustrating that every single one of their goals comes from a defensive error. Amos cannot let their winger get to the byline from where he is and put a cross in. It just can't let that happen. Waterfall is just in no man's land in the middle of the 6-yard box. So that's just suicidal. And I think throughout the game, actually, we was talking about Amos a minute ago. I think throughout the game, he let their winger do that a few times. Second goal, we put the ball out for a throw-in when we didn't need to. There's nobody around.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that about?
No one around him. Nobody's giving him a shout. Obviously, we've put it out. They've recycled the ball from the throw-in. Mishy's got under it. They've scored the second, and the third. We had 3 chances to clear that ball before it came into the box. Scrappy goal, but when you get 3 chances to clear a ball out of your final third in the 90th minute, you put your foot through it and you push up the pitch.
And
so
that's Harrogate, it ends up on the fucking road.
Like, yeah, and I mean that's
10 minutes for it to be getting back and come back in.
That's the massively frustrating thing about yesterday, is that nothing that they did was because of themselves. It was all because of us, whether it was not changing the game to change the momentum or actually defending well. And I don't usually get pissed off about a Town result. Been Town fan 20 years, 25 years or so. You've got to get used to losing games. But twice now in very quick succession, I've been really angry about a result. And the other one was Hartlepool. And we did the same thing there. We refused to make any changes at all and do anything in the game to try and change the momentum of it. And I'm not one that has gone along for the last couple of years with this Hurst and substitute sort of narrative that goes on. So I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. More often than not, it doesn't impact a game. But I've started to notice it. Hartlepool and yesterday, I've started to notice that he's reluctant to change things. So linking back into Hurst long term, I think it's absolutely crazy to be asking for him to go now. I think he's demonstrated consistently he can get a team competitive and he can progress a football club. I think, though, he definitely has some criticism about how he's been going with the team recently. Defensive records not looking great at the minute, not inability or unwillingness to change a game. So I think something needs to change in January. Not the manager. I think we need to have a look at the squad, and I'm sure we'll have players coming in January. But also, when people start talking about Hurst not influencing a game, we also have to remember that we've won an awful lot of games over the last 18 months in the last 15 minutes or in added time, all because of either tactical changes or substitutions. Each one of those playoff games we've won late on with sub-scoring goals, sub-scoring equalisers. So he's not naive, but for sometimes he just doesn't make a bloody change, and he needs to look at that.
one. I think that was beautiful. That was very good. Both. I'm proud of you all. You did wonderfully. He says patronisingly, but he's genuinely saying it. Can I ask one question that's controversial? Why did we spend, I imagine, 6 figures on Alex Hunt?
Because he wants a bit of creativity in the middle of the park, but he doesn't trust him with the ball enough to hold on to it. No, that's the thing. He wants somebody that can put his foot on the ball and pick a pass. But when we've seen him play in a few games, he's lost the possession of it quite a lot. So he doesn't trust him at the minute, whether that's a development thing or it's a mindset thing, and he's not doing things the right way. He obviously wants a bit more technical ability in there, but he doesn't trust him to keep hold of it.
Sam, go on. You got a minute.
There is something with that, isn't there? Because he's also got Morris, who is a better footballer than probably all of them, actually. But he's picking Holohan, Green, and Harry, who are all three of them are workhorses. They get up and down the pitch very well, but none of them are going to control the game in the middle of the park. I thought Bryn was excellent for the first sort of 2 months of the season. Do you not? One theory with Hunt, I don't know enough about football technically to know this properly, but whether Hunt suffers, he needs men running beyond him and McAtee coming short to him, and it's a case of he needs people around him as opposed to himself being the issue. I don't know if anybody else has got a theory on that, but
I think he suits.
I don't know. I've used my full minute.
I think he suits a game where we've got most of the possession, and I think when he's coming on as a sub, it's usually been that we've been drawing and winning and trying to hold on, and we've not got more of the possession. I think he needs to be in a game where we're dominating that possession to be able to have the ball. Yeah. Also, just one point. I actually didn't think... I thought our midfield was all right for 60, 65 minutes yesterday. I think that's where the problem was when we didn't change it in the middle of the park to get to the ball a bit quicker. I think Green did really well to shield the back two, actually, Waterfall and Mayer. And I think Harry has to play in centre midfield because he's got the energy to get up and get back and sort of make the numbers as he can. So I think Harry needs to stay in centre midfield.
Right. Thank you very much. We'll come back to it in a second. Bruce, I'm really
Let
sorry.
Bruce speak. Let Bruce.
No, it's
on,
fine.
Bruce.
That's fine, mate. That's fine if you want to go to.
Yeah, fine. Whatever. Don't care.
Let's talk about the next defeat first. That's fine.
Well, it's not even the next defeat. It's the defeat after the next defeat. Because we've got Salford to come.
Oh, yeah, we could be asked for Salford, could we? No.
Gary
Neville was busy, wasn't he?
Gary Neville was busy, yeah, and that was it. It was him or David Beckham, but he just kept talking about how much he loved Qatar. Right, we'll be back with Nick.
Phil.
Phil, no.
He's got guitar. Why has he got guitar?
Behind. So that's the final act of the game, which means Grimsby Town are back in the Football League just a year after those awful scenes.
Yeah, right, brilliant. And just like last year, as if everything doesn't mix in, Stockport County got, table topping town of the start of last season, earlier on in this season. And now they're going to welcome FA Trophy 4-0 losing Grimsby Town to their gaff. Nick, welcome to the Mid-Table Podcast,
lads. Yeah, but the Football League podcast. Let's be ambitious about it, shall we? We're here, and the Wrexham lads are pissing around with Wealdstone and Dover and whoever's in that league now. I don't know.
Scunthorpe.
And Notts County. I've heard they're having a terrible time of it. It's funny. Well, last time I spoke to you, I was with a girl whose family were Scunthorpe fans, and I'm not with her anymore. So, fuck them.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. It's nice to see that you're, in updating your life, because that is a massive red flag to anybody.
It wasn't Peter Swan's daughter, was it?
Is it not who's putting the bets on for him?
5-1 it was, Bruce.
5-1, yeah. That's what's happened. Nick leaked it at the end. That's what he went, here, Kieran, here, you can have this. But yeah, I mean, it's quite fun, that part of it. It's the part of it that, that is making this run slightly more bearable when you look at them and go, they're not just bad, they're fucked. So, if only someone had said 4 or 5 years ago not to trust that bloke, then, they might have listened and they'd be all right. Look, how's everything going your end? You guys seem to have, realised you've got some decent players and started using them. What's happened?
Yeah. We're basically decided to abandon the approach of trying to squeeze in all our new signings at the same time. I went back to what worked last season. Like Ryan Crowsdale in particular in like the holding midfield role, he came back in, and it's been flying since then. Just knocking a League One team out of the FA Cup for the third season in a row, and just business as usual. It's
That
great.
stuff's a piece of piss.
Yeah.
Well, who have you got in the cup then?
So well, our reward for beating Charlton was Walsall at home. Probably the one League Two side who are in better form than us.
We've had this conversation far too often. That is what the FA Cup means to me, is FA Cup third round, Championship Stockport County and Championship Grimsby Town have got a chance to play Arsenal or Manchester United, and we draw each other, and you're on a slightly better run of form at that time than we are, and 3,000 people turn up.
Yeah, that's about right. But hopefully the prize for this will be Fleetwood away or whatever.
No, it'll be us. We'll beat Burton. You'll beat Walsall, and we'll draw each other in the fourth round.
Oh god!
I'm
getting quite excited.
Yeah, we just sort of bumble into the fifth round of the FA Cup, going, "How the fuck did we get here?" It won't be us.
TV companies will arrange Wrexham against bloody Salford, even though they're not even in the cup anymore.
No, it'll just be a charity game, won't it?
Yeah, on telly.
ITV1, pre-match and post-match hosted by BBC. They'll have Clem on talking to everybody.
Well, our replay against Charlton was on ITV4, which is, you might as well just not have it on telly, because I just imagine all these people tuning in for like Classic Heartbeat and Classic Emmerdale being really annoyed that there was just some pointless football match on.
That's nothing. Our next game against Burton it's in a country. Have we worked out which country it's on in yet, Bruce? I thought you'd be all over this. So it's not been shown in the UK, but our kickoff time has been moved because it's been shown somewhere in the world, and we don't actually know where. Yeah, Tonga, big town following in Tonga.
It's mad, has California Mariner asked for it to be moved?
Yeah, it's just him. They went, "Oh,
have you ever been on that You ever been on that S4C though, Nick, or whatever it's called in Wales?
Oh yeah, I couldn't make head nor tail of that. That was horrible.
Oh, we've been on that before. Yeah.
I think that's where I watched your playoff success against Wrexham. I think that was on a S4C stream when I watched that.
I thought that was a score line.
When you get that live, you can go live to a sheep in a field somewhere at any point during the game.
Yeah. Which is, to be fair, is preferable to watching Wrexham for 90 minutes every week.
Did you see that? You maybe didn't pay any attention, but I saw Alex noticed that they tweeted their form for the year at home, and it was something like there was about 152 wins and about 4 draws and 1 loss, and the only loss that was on there was the one that really mattered.
Oh, they're the gift that keeps on giving, aren't they?
Who would have thought Phil Parkinson just shouting during every break, just going, "Just fucking want it more," and it didn't work? Yeah. Who would have thought that was the end of the tactical master plan?
That's one in the eye for all those football fans who say, "Oh, we just need a bit of passion." Absolute rubbish.
It's it's going to be funny this year, because you can guarantee that whichever one of them and Notts County that get over 100 points this season that doesn't go up, they will spunk it in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll lose to Woking.
You just know that one of them teams is going to get 100 plus points, and then they're going to end up still in the National League next season.
Can you imagine that? So Wrexham, let's say they don't go up, and then they lose to like Woking or Barnet in the playoffs. So you've probably got a budget that's 20% of theirs or something daft like that. And then we'll end up with losing this though, because they'll, you as well of Stockport, they'll end up overhauling us, Wrexham, once they get up the post eventually. So they'll have the last laugh, without wishing to kill the joy.
We laughed at Forest Green for years, didn't we? When they kept trying and never got out of the National League, spending more money than anybody else. And from the outside looking in, it's hilarious that one of them, Notts County, are how many million in debt to the owner? Ridiculous amount, isn't it? It's crazy.
14. I mean, they're basically
pounds or million.
14 million.
Scuddy's
quid,
14 quid. Notts County of 14 million. Oh no, it's 40 million. Isn't it? How do you gamble? Sorry, we haven't even talked. How do you gamble? How much was it? 40 million, did he say, or something?
So it's
Peter
20
Swan.
million his stake, and it's 3 million is his. I think it's 20 million is his ultimate stake, and 3 million is his debts.
And you don't think
Allegedly.
He's suing them, isn't he? Isn't he
Allegedly.
suing them basically for letting him do it?
Yeah.
Apparently, this is breaking podcast story. This John Fenty told him that Michael Jolly had got a competitive budget.
I don't know what Nick's so polite. He even laughed at that, and he doesn't know who Michael Jolly is, and he doesn't.
I know Michael Jolly. Michael Jolly is the son of County's former commercial director, Chris Jolly.
Really?
Don't go around.
All
You
comes
see,
together.
Alex is insulting guest members on the podcast. It's no wonder you can't get anybody on, Alex, if you keep going along kind of saying, oh, he don't know this, he don't know that.
What am I meant to do? Harrogate and Salford have got a combined average attendance of 11. The only person I can bring on is Gary Neville or the woman who does the tea at Harrogate in Betty's tea room. There's nobody else. This is the problem.
Oh, I'd love that. Just get Gary Neville on and we'll talk about government policy and just leave it to the rest of us for the rest of the evening. It'd be fantastic.
There was that Salford bloke. There was that Salford bloke, you know.
He was amazing. I loved him. I'm going to pass his number on to Nick so they can get him on to do a preview on their place as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely hold it with that, yeah.
He's brilliant. What was his highlights, Mike? Because I can't even remember it.
He said, oh, yeah, I've been to Scunthorpe. Yeah, that's nice. Like, that was literally oh, yeah, I know where Scunthorpe is. That's about it.
Well, I mean, that's all you need to know. Let's be honest. Did anyone see the Wrexham version of the playoff game? It was they've scored and then it just ended. Yes, I did. So if we talk about Wrexham enough, our hope is that at some point, Disney Plus will actually have to come to us to buy a bit of the podcast so that it adds context, and we'll charge them $4.5 million for it. But until that happens. The problem is,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we doing this thing, the documentary? The lad that was divorced that was looking after, he's bringing up his kids on the documentary.
Oh my God!
Despised him.
Wouldn't it be ace if they were still going? If it was still going when they were getting married and stuff. Oh well, this is our year. This is our year. We'll get out. We've got a 32,000 capacity stadium, but we'll get back in the Football League this year for sure. Definite.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, it's unfair. But to leave a game, like the game hasn't even finished and you've left to go to the pub, it's like, okay, fine. I mean, I love our team. I'm sad enough to do a podcast and we run it, and but if we're losing to Harrogate, I'm not throwing things at the TV like that Mexican was who was stabbing his telly in the World Cup.
I mean, I'm just happy to be losing to Harrogate in the Football League as opposed to losing them to them in Division 6. I'll take it.
That's the attitude.
Yeah, that'll do.
We need more of that. We need more of this, Nick. You can come back. None of this entitled rubbish that people come up with.
It's because they've not got any roof on their away end.
And that was brilliant. That allowed us to run the clock down. That did it, because when the ball went behind, some lad kicked it over the back of the stand when we won there earlier in the season.
You're like us, Nick. Really, you should be in the Championship, shouldn't you?
Yeah, 5 years time.
I mean, not me personally, but the club should be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We should. That's where we should be. Sam's got this thing that we should. Now that we're shit, we should just accept being shit. And yeah, you and I remember us being good, don't you? Poor old Sam, to be fair, he's only 15. He remembers when we were like struggling last time with Barry Conlon. That's his first memory. So he's been tarnished, the lad.
Can you not mention shit county players? Because Barry Conlon was absolutely terrible for us.
Oh, it's shit for us as well. Don't worry. I was heavily.
We were all made up when he signed for us that summer.
Hang on.
It was on the front season tickets.
I'm not having this. So first and foremost, Sam was defending John Fenty this morning on the the DN35 WhatsApp group. So I mean, we need to make that public now. But secondly, to say that Barry Conlon, right, for that first, I will give you that first sort of 5-6 games when he came in on loan and he needed someone to pay off his bar tab. He was great. All right, big bruising bastard up front, didn't move, could a foot like a traction engine. After that, he spent more time in the Laceby Arms. Am I wrong?
If you listen to Peter Sweeney, he spent most Wednesdays in a pub with Peter Sweeney biting heads off fishers in tanks in pubs.
But nonetheless, he was used as the poster boy to sell season. I remember on the front of mine, Big Bazzy's back. That was the thing that was used. I was 10. Yeah, that's sort of I can
It's what
remember
came
that
after
time
that,
pretty
Bruce.
well.
Bruce looks like he's got a like flashback going through his head right now.
Yeah, you weren't there, man.
Bazzy's back, will you
John-
be? That was
John
what it
Nolan
said. That's what
played
it
for
said,
Stock.
Sam. That's what it said. Bazzy's back,
Baz,
will you
Baz
be?
had no fucking clue where he was. Let's be entirely honest. He was getting put in a private hire taxi, 01472 5555, and was being thrown in that.
He used to love the boxing, didn't he?
Did he?
That Twitter war regarding Fenty ruined my Christmas Eve.
Well,
And
it's
John
been
Nolan
on the
played
wrong
for you
side
guys
of
as
it.
well. John Nolan played for you guys as well, didn't he? I remember
John
him playing
Nolan
against
is one
us.
of my most despised county players ever. I
he
detested
doesn't
that
like-
man. Horrible,
Ooh.
horrible. When we got
Interesting.
relegated from the
What did he do-
Football
what-
League,
what
it
did he
was
do?
down. So we had him in the National League, and then he was one of them that you could tell was a decent player, and just didn't do it for us. And then the game where we lost at home to Dartford to pretty much seal relegation to regional football, he gave the ball away on halfway and just sat on his ass laughing as Charlie Sheringham scored the winner for Dartford.
Was that Teddy Sheringham's
bleak
son
to
then, or something? Was it?
It was, yeah.
Of course
that
it
was a
was.
bleak moment. Yeah.
What? So actually, we do have some Scunthorpe fans that listen to this. So, what is it like regional football? Because they're going to have to prepare for it. What is that? What is that like? What happens? Do you know what league you go into?
We're mate, yes. So I mean, Scunthorpe and Oldham, because we've got to give them a name.
Oh yeah,
check,
you've got
they'll
Oldham
drop-
as well,
drop
haven't
in
you?
as well. Yeah, I mean, Oldham are they're gonna have John Rooney on a 3-year contract in regional football, which is gonna be fucking hilarious.
Do you
But no,
reckon there's going to be
horrible.
images of players taking photos next to their digital sponsor boards? Like, you know, if you play for Colville or something
Yep, that's
like
what we
that.
had.
Did you really?
Yep. Yeah, but we had. I think it was Oxford City or Gloucester. They turned up. Their coach was late for a 3:00 kickoff, so they moved the kickoff to 3:30. And then 3:05, they're all on the pitch taking pictures of the scoreboard and of the stands and stuff like that. And that was the point where I just thought, yeah, I'm just going to watch it in the bar from now on and just not bother, because it's what a torrid time. And then when you go to places like Oxford City, not even Oxford United, you go to Oxford City, you get in a taxi at the station and say, oh, Oxford City, and you get taken to the Kassam Stadium and miss the first half of a 4-0 defeat because you're at the wrong fucking stadium. That type of stuff, horrible. I honestly wouldn't wish it on anyone.
I like you, Nick.
Yeah.
I'd wish it on Peter Swan.
You're a proper football fan. You're not like these ones that we get from these new clubs that, oh, what did you do? I'm 32 and I've been supporting Salford for 7 years. Yeah, what did you do for all the rest of your life before that, you dirty bastard?
Well,
And yet you mock
yesterday
me,
before our game,
me for accepting mediocrity.
before we renewed
So
our
you were down
rivalry
there-
yesterday with everyone's favourite paedophile harbouring club Crew, we were next to Stockport Station, and a group of people asked for
we
directions
got
to
any
the football
lawyers?
ground, and they all had Manchester City hats on. So I sent them the wrong way. Sodom. I'm not having it. Come and watch us if you want,
So
but don't turn up in Man City gear.
Yeah, I can imagine. That
You
must
were
be
down in the National League North for a number of years without wishing to rub salt in the wounds. Was it 2 or 3 years you were
I know.
down there?
6.
6 years?
Six
Oh, God, I
years.
didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, but the best bit is that you used to have a really good rival when you were doing so well in the Championship and Man City was shit, and you guys had a genuine rivalry. The idea that you're pissed off with Oxford City, and at the same time you can still give it the big un. You can still get under the skin of Man City fans who have just beaten PSG 6-0 or whatever it is. That's lovely. I like that.
They still hate us, Man City. When City won their first title, I went on their Blue Moon message board forum thing, and there was a longer thread dedicated to us dropping out of the Football League than there was to them winning their first Premier League title.
Yeah, but
mental.
do you also quite like the
just-
idea that they are very successful right now, but there will be people who support Man City that now have to spend their entire life basically validating their support by saying, "No, I did go to watch us play Grimsby in the Championship." So, nah, you're just a little bit of a glory supporter, mate. That's their life now. Like that's it.
We had an email from one the other week because I've been saying it on the podcast for about 6 or 7 years that 95% of Manchester City fans look like sex offenders, and one of them emailed in, and he started the email with the immortal line, "Oh, I'm a Stockport County fan and also a Manchester City fan, as many people are," and just I lost it at that point. Just it's the type of thing that these Man City fans say to delude themselves into thinking they've not been like gaslit and abused by a despotic state. It's just so weird, very strange, and they've got everything they've ever wanted apart from the Champions League, and they're still just getting wound up by us. I love it, mate.
Probably also not win a Nobel Peace Prize, so
No time soon. They've got more chance of the Champions League, I think.
So I mean, how things are going. I mean, firstly, this just shows how much we've grown as people. No one has mentioned Dave Challoner yet, so everybody. I mean, yeah, he's a prick. But so what are the expectations now? Has this sort of bad run of form kind of helped in a way that it's sort of, because I told you guys before on your show that I'd put like 20 quid on you guys to go through the leagues again, which you're fucking up. Thank you very much. But has that helped with sort of the general feeling around Edgeley Park and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's kind of made people just glad to be back in the league. So we've picked up a lot of new fans that have only been watching since the Bolton game that was on BBC last year. A lot of them have kind of picked us up since then and just want this instant success, everything now. But I think we were saying it on the podcast earlier in the season. It's just it'll work out. They'll get it sorted. It'll be fine, because the alternative is we just turn into Salford and change managers every season, which no one with a brain in their head.
Oh, when do you get Graham Alexander?
Oh, well, funnily enough, he was second choice to replace Simon Rusk when Challoner took over, and that knocked me a bit sick. Didn't fancy that. But yeah, it's nice. Like, I still think we'll playoffs at least, especially like the form we're in now. Spend a bit of money in January. It sounds like we've got a few signings coming in. So I don't know. I'm just happy being back more than anything else. As long as we.
What's been the highlight then?
Third bottom and. Oh, I don't know.
League Cup. What was it like in the League Cup draw?
Well, yeah, we got Leicester, didn't we? That was all right. Took Leicester to penalties, and they had to bring Maddison off the bench and stuff. And still,
yeah, but they had to do it though, didn't they?
Penalties. That's it. But it was one of them, because at that point, Leicester, I think they still do. They wanted Brendan Rodgers out. So when they won the shootout, their fans were more disappointed than ours. I think they just weren't bothered in the slightest. Like, yeah,
one of our claims to fame is I think we helped give Gerard Houllier a heart attack when we beat Liverpool at Anfield. Hey, it's on the Cod Almighty website. We do attribute it. I think it was a week later after Leeds, but I'm sorry, we were the one that loosened the jar on that one and stuck in the waters a bit.
Yeah. You clogged up that valve a bit, didn't you?
Yeah. The moment that Phil Jones, I'm just trying to think of Krusty the Clown clutching his chest as Phil Jevons scoops it in from 35 yards out or whatever it was.
If you rewind it, you can see the moment his heart breaks.
Yeah, quite literally.
Because from the outside in, you're basically having exactly the same season as you were last season. Slow start, and then sort of in the second third of the season, you've just got this sort of unstoppable wave of momentum that's going to carry you towards promotion. This league's easier to get promoted from than league below, as we all know.
Yeah, that's it. We just
who do we sort of because we beat you quite easily in October without wishing to kind of dredge up old memories. But
it was good,
how have you? It was brilliant. Last time we won away in the league. In fact, I think we're due a defeat. I think we're due a defeat against you, given we've won the last two games with you against 10 men. Because Challoner
I'll tell you,
dirty kind of.
Yeah, he's got a bad attitude. It's bad temperament, and it leaks through to the team. He's basically, as they're going out, he's going, right, see that one, kill him. Who was it? Was it at your place? Where was that one where that poor player got beaten up? Was that, or was that
Oh.
Oldham?
No, that was Oldham. That was Oldham, an Oldham player by a Chesterfield player, allegedly.
That was it.
Are we saying that Challoner's a bit like Wacko out of Mike Bassett, England manager?
Yeah.
So I've got a friendly game today, lads. Fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, we've got the fewest yellow cards in League Two, but the most red cards.
Yeah.
We just had that mental few weeks at the start of the season.
He don't do anything by halves, does he? He was only asked to track fucking poor Mark Pringle, keep him close. Just turns around in the ambulance and he's there.
I'm guessing we're not mentioning Matty Mainwaring getting his career ended by a Grimsby player in a pre-season friendly, are we?
I can't. Do you know what? It doesn't even register on us. Doesn't even register.
Who's that guy?
Like,
honestly, I've never heard of him.
he's the guy that.
I know you won't. His career ended.
Yeah, well.
Who was it that did it? Because that depends on our response. Who broke his leg?
Yeah.
Just keep talking. I'll look it up.
Just say it was Paul Linwood. Just say it was Paul Linwood.
Yeah. Paul Linwood. Yeah.
Paul Linwood couldn't make Paul Linwood couldn't make a fucking tackle. He's got to get within 25 yards of the bloke. The only way he'd do it is be able to run him over in the car park afterwards.
If it was Michael Leary, I'd have half believed you. God, he was.
Yeah. Whereas like Ben Chapman
we should do it one week where we name our all-time worst Town 11, just to kind of.
I've done that once, and I was told I was an enabler for negativity.
And now you're a happy clapper. What a circle you've come.
I'm a happy clapper. Yeah. Let's not sack everybody all the time. It's the what was the other? Ben Chapman broke a lad's leg in Scunthorpe in a pre-season friendly or something, if I remember rightly. I can't think of anything.
We once killed a player, didn't we?
Did we?
Who did we kill?
Back in the 1890s, a player died after a tackle by a Grimsby player.
Okay, this is something I've never heard. Right, go ahead.
Alex, it's not funny.
I mean, he'd have probably died by now,
remember
Bruce.
He died. He would have been dead by now. Yeah, we let me just look it up. You keep chatting. Let me just look it up.
He was 97. So Nick's
I'll give you the proper
who we killed.
I'll just search my Excel spreadsheet for the word death in a game.
Oh, is this serious now? His archiving skills are coming out.
You know, you listen to cricket on the radio, and there's the guy that's doing the stats. That's Bruce, isn't it? He's just got to check like CricViz.
You know what? Have I ever told my wife went on was on Test Match Special once. She was interviewed during a game against Sri Lanka, and she was sat next to the scorer. It was quite fun watching it, really, and she was taught how to score and everything. It's like, and then Phil Tufnell came in. It was the same day the Ryan Giggs story came out, and so Michael Vaughan was talking to everybody in the thing about it, saying, "Oh, I was on the phone to him last night. He's devastated, etc." And then Tuffers walks in.
Do you have to be careful here, mate?
I don't think so. Tuffers walks in and then like slams himself down at the back of the room where Army goes, "I fucking hate Saturday nights." And he's got like, sunglasses on, half comatose. It's like, this is exactly what I want. And then Blowers called me a dear old thing. So I thought that was quite nice.
Oh, that's life made, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Bruce, have you found out? And Nick, have you found out who we killed?
No, I can't find it anywhere. I can't find who did it. I just know that he fractured his tibia.
I'm still looking.
Who was it, Nick? Who was?
We don't know.
No, don't know who did it. But apparently, Matty Mainwaring is now a British model, and he was last seen on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. So he's doing well for himself. It might have been a blessing.
So he was injured in a pre-season friendly on the 25th of July. Okay, go on then.
No, you finish what you
said. We can't afford Nick every week, Simon. No, I'm just looking. July 25th, 2000. Fucking hell, Bruce. Your delay.
No, go on. Go on.
No, you go. You go. I'm muting. I'm not saying a word.
12th of January, 1889, during a friendly with Derbyshire side Staveley, Town fullback Danny Doyle accidentally catches Staveley winger and Derbyshire cricketer William Cropper in the midriff with his knee. Cropper sadly dies the following day from an undetected ruptured bowel.
Fucking hell.
There you go.
Bleak.
Harry Clifton needs to go to the doctors after that challenge yesterday.
Game's gone. Run it off.
Yeah. Lads.
That's what Dave Moore would do. Dave Moore would do that, wouldn't he? Given he did send Sean Scannell to run off a ruptured Achilles earlier in the year. So
he looks a bit lifeless at right back. What? He's dead.
God.
Oh my word. Okay. Yeah, I mean when games
his legs, it only means the word legs.
What did we appeal the ban, the 3-game ban? Looks like when he caught him. What did what with?
It got reduced to 1 day because he didn't mean it, or 1 game because he didn't mean it.
I like when you said he got caught. I was like, what? Fucking with what? A Lee Enfield rifle? So I've got here. He was so Matty Mainwaring was injured in a preseason friendly against Grimsby Town on the 25th of July. 9 months with a broken leg. My word. 2009 as well. Wouldn't have been a team that we really care about either. So,
Isn't for us either.
did us a favour. Let's have a look. 2000. So July. So 2009, 2010 season. So that's the season we got relegated. If
Barry
we
got
got the last,
also got relegated
after he got off the bar. Didn't he?
yeah. I don't know. That sounds terrible. I'm going to have to look that up now.
Stockport surviving the league for another year after we went down, or did they go?
So we went down. I think now would have been 2011. We dropped out of the Football League, I believe.
Yeah, that's the league. That's the year after us because we went down with Darlington, didn't we? Nope. Bruce has got his reads on again. I'm pretty sure. Who came down with you? And Lincoln came down with you, I think, didn't they?
They did, yeah, and then came back a long time before what we did, upsettingly.
Well, don't worry about it. I mean, okay, I guess we got a game. We got Salford first, so we'll lose that, and then we'll lose to you, and then everyone will be ripping themselves apart. Expecting to bring many down.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm kind of contemplating it. My first thought was that I don't really want to. It doesn't really tally with the whole New Year, New Me thing, like spending New Year's Day in Cleethorpes. Like, no offense to you, but yeah. I think we're bringing a few. We're selling a few more tickets this week off the back of yesterday. I think we've sold a couple of 100 more today, so we should be bringing at least 1,000 anyway.
That'll be nice. Bring the flags.
Suppose the
you forget, don't you? Because we had like our first games in this league were against like Harrogate and Barrow, who we played when we were in Division 6, and it's just you think, oh, well, what have we come back for? But yeah, playing Grimsby in a Football League game is kind of what we expected. Even though we played you in non-league, it's kind of that's what you want, isn't it? Like two proper teams, decent crowd, bit of noise. Yeah. Oh, there'll be plenty of tears if someone gets a leg broken again.
Yeah, true. It's but it's weird, isn't it? You think this game in the Championship 10 years ago, 4,500, 3,900, and now it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be 7,000, isn't it, Bruce? They'll have 1,000 there. We'll have 6,000 season ticket holders that'll have to go because they've paid for their ticket. So what? 7,500.
Even I'd put in a guesting appearance.
I'll tell you something. This story as well. Go ahead, Bruce.
We've got to the point where people are sort of that have paid the tickets aren't always going now, but traditionally a bank holiday, New Year's Day is one of the better crowds, isn't it? I reckon 6-8.
6-8. What am I looking at? Hang on, that's the headline from the Manchester. From the Manchester Evening News saying not so lucky break is not exactly the kindest headline for this poor lad who's had his leg broken. It doesn't tell me.
Local news has got a lot worse since then as well.
Yeah, that's true. At least they were there. Well,
yeah, it wasn't nicest.
Do we do the predictions or is that really cliched and shit? Bruce, do you want a prediction from Nick?
No.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Nick,
I do.
thank you.
I'm interested.
Yeah, no one listens to you. Go ahead. Yeah, what's your prediction, Nick? I felt really mean then. It was the Fenty thing from earlier.
Well, emboldened by a week of cider and rum and another win yesterday against a team we despise, I'm going to go 2-0 County. I'm
Don't
sorry,
worry.
if you said this earlier in the season, I go 0-0. But yeah, I can just we're just on one of them runs now. I just don't see where the next defeat's coming from. Probably fucking Walsall in the cup.
You're due a win against us as well, aren't you? Having battered us on Good Friday last year, and then
Never in
sending off
doubt that
changing the
game,
game
Sam. Never in doubt.
Sorry, I do apologise for providing realism and balance to this podcast rather than the blind faith we get from the happy clapper in the corner there. But
you're me to this podcast, aren't you? Yeah.
It's the yeah. I can't even remember what I was going to say now, but yeah, it was going to be hilarious. Nick, it has been a pleasure, mate. Enjoy.
I somewhat doubt that.
That's true. Oh yeah, it was when he said he was emboldened by rum and spirits, and I was thinking that's pretty much from given the performance that our team put in yesterday. It looks like they were as well. Yeah, enjoy it. You're welcome for the 3 points. Get promoted to I win 20 quid and drag us up with you, because it'll be quite funny. See you later.
Yeah, I'm good, lads. Cheers, fellas.
Right, have we got anything else to talk about?
Salford, should we preview Salford? Like what you might do to the team and so on?
I don't know. I've just spent the last 5 minutes trying to look up who broke his leg.
I can't find it either.
No.
I found a match report on Fishy, but it doesn't mention.
It doesn't say it. I've been there. Yeah.
I like that. Oh, it's probably in the tackle. Danny Boschel got a paper cut from the card he received. I might have Danny Boschel's number. I'll ask him. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Salford. How are they doing, Bruce? Any scores?
They've still got that Johnson in charge. He's a good lad. There's a double act, wasn't there? That was dead funny on the early documentaries. They used to be absolutely mental.
Oh, they've only got 5 more points than we have,
which would have been 2 yesterday.
In the league.
Yeah.
We'll beat Salford.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I think we'll beat Salford and lose to Stockport. That's
we'll beat them both,
guess.
Sam.
I'm convinced we're going to lose to Stockport just because, well, for the reasons I stated at the end there. I mean, how we've taken 6 points in the last 2 games against them is a bit of a mystery.
Can I ask a question? This sounds really stupid. Are we in a lot of our home form is terrible? Granted, we won our last home game, but we've got 3 home games on the trot. We can't lose those 3, can we? We have to get a win somewhere in there. And one's against Burton and one's against a decent Stockport team with, every striker we've tried to get.
Yeah, I think we'll grab a win. We'll grab a win out of one of those.
Cool.
I think we'll beat Salford. You can play that back to me.
Sounds great. On the 30th, we are going to do a review of this year, which has been spectacular, even though it's sort of ending in a whimper. So we want your thoughts on 2022 to come in. If you've got anything, send us a recording on email or drop it in Twitter on our DMs, and we'll play it out on here as well, because we'd really like to hear from you from what has been an incredible year. Granted, it is dying out a little bit, but from everyone here, enjoy the rest of the Christmas holidays. Don't get too upset. Bruce, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I'll see you I'll see you for the review. I'm looking forward to that. Hearing about that game in London that I didn't go to.
Yeah.
Did you not go?
Didn't go.
Did you not go? I've not heard that.
No. Sam, great to have you. Nice to see your childhood bedroom.
It's beautiful. And Harry, for the kind of Grimsby Town fans' benefit there, trying to keep it all towny.
Can you move the camera around, Sam, so we can see the rest of the room, please?
No. All you'll be able
He's not
to
put the
see
socks
are
away,
my...
mate.
Oh, I bet your mum and dad are sat on the bed watching you do the podcast live, aren't they?
No, they're not. Actually, I can demonstrate that pretty clearly. Mum and Dad are not there.
Kleenex
Oh,
everywhere.
is that a teddy? Is that a teddy? Show us again. That's a
No,
red and
Lee.
white Man U.
It's
It's a
anti-Dan.
Man U teddy, isn't it?
Not a man.
That's
look,
Lee.
don't wash your mouth out with soap and
Oh.
water, Bruce. There is nothing.
Oh,
Manchester
no, it was a
United
Labour
related in
teddy.
this bloody place.
Oh, he's got a Neil Kinnock stuffed teddy.
I normally get stick from you two. It's Bruce who's giving me pelters tonight. This...
That shows how far it's swung. Mike, thank you very much.
Why, what have we done?
No, nothing. I was just saying. I thought you were quite eloquent earlier, and elegant,
Oh, mate, I'm
elegantly
both.
eloquent.
Trust
You
me.
just call him an elephant.
That's nice, isn't it?
You
Yeah.
can't do Alex.
Rude. It's
Mike,
rude.
Mike, when we go for our date in Gillingham on
Yeah.
Valentine's, I will not.
Which
create
I'm not
anything
invited
like
to, by
that.
the way, even though I'm going to be there.
Alex, you and I could go for a date. We'll go for a rival date that'd be better than theirs. Because
Yeah,
I wasn't
well,
invited either.
Nah, it won't.
it'll just be us arguing over who has to pay the bill and how much to tip the
No,
waitress.
I will take.
Sam
take you to the parliamentary. I'll take you to the parliamentary restaurant, and we'll put it
I
on
don't want
expenses.
chicken
Gillingham.
liver pate.
£3.50,
You won't
6
get chicken
courses,
liver.
mate.
It's better than fish and chick for value. Right, okay, we're done. I'm sorry for everybody that we're a bit crap at the moment with the football and stuff, but it'll get better.
It's not my
and we'll
fault.
see. Yeah, well,
It's not our
it's
fault. What are you
not
saying
my-
sorry for?
Oh, I'm just apologising for Paul Hurst because he should have said
We
it.
did not make us up. It's his fault, not ours.
Did Scunny
I
win?
like Scunny did not win.
Okay, that's fine then.
All right, then. See you later, guys. Bye.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! 1130